Welcome to Turning Point Survival. My name is Mike, and this is.
McKenna.
And this video is about barter and trade. I want to thank Mrs. Breaker from Lamar, Missouri, and her class. And we hope you guys enjoy the video. Barter and trade wasn't, kind of what we think of, now. Trade was, you bring your money in, you bought said item. Barter was sometimes you'd be walking through, whether it be the woods along a path or something, and people would be sitting just like we are now with different items, and you would barter for said items. The goods that were bartered was, it could have been anything from, hats to different, cordages. Obviously, they didn't have these cords. They had something more along the lines of this. It's a jute twine cord. Another thing it was bartered for, 18th century long hunters would, when they went up on their hunts, they would cut wood and leave it alongside the riverbanks for riverboat captains. The riverboat captains would then leave money. Another thing that was traded was, coffee, stuff like that.
And a magnifying glass that you can keep stuff in. And the lid is a magnifying glass, and they used to put like cigarette stuff for their tube and stuff and chew.
This is a replica of a Hudson Bay tobacco tin. Hudson Bay was real big with, and trading and everything, and this was traded for, but they used these to keep their pipe tobacco in, and I'm sure they used the magnifying lenses to help start fires. Spices was another big thing along the American frontier. You might be out of salt. You might run across, some other people that might have, an excess of excess of salt. You might have a lot of flour, so you bartered. Axes. We generally use axes about this size and bigger. Tomahawks was another thing. Knives, looked a lot like this one. This is an old hickory. Old hickory's been around for quite a while. As you can see, they're not actually very big. When you see movies and people are carrying, knife blades that are like that's not actually very accurate, because they wouldn't have been able to use that for a lot. They avoided injury, and going toe to toe with somebody with these items wouldn't. You're going to lose on both sides.
And this is string that they used.
Jute twine.
Jute twine. They used it for their houses to tie together sometimes.
Shelters.
And shelters. And they're on their covered wagons. Yeah.
And I mean, everything was bartered and traded for. Animals. Fabrics would have been huge, because they reused fabrics for the fabrics that they had for anything, because fabric was actually pretty expensive. If you had an older kid, the older kid got the newer stuff. The younger kid would always get the hand-me-downs, because a lot of families couldn't afford to get everybody a new shirt. Dad might need new work shirts. He might go to pick up those new work shirts, but might see a dress that mom liked, so he would use his shirt money to get a dress or an apron, or you name it. And they were always thankful for anything they got. Nowadays, people get a little bit rubbed the wrong way as far as hand-me-downs, but you gotta think, back then, in order to have something, you had to give up something else. And most people, they bartered for stuff. If you needed wood, and you broke your axe. You'd go help a neighbor do something. He would either loan you his axe or he would come help you cut wood. But it was a give and take on everything. And a lot of arguments got started through barter and trade. Whether I mean, somebody might have traded for sugar, and there might have been a little bit of sugar on top and the rest of it flour. A lot of arguments got started like that. And, humans have kind of grown past that a little bit. But, so, do you have anything to add to it? Got to talk about it.
That is one thing that it was really important for them to get wood, because if they needed a new house, the dad would have to take wood or cut down trees, and if his axe broke, he would have to walk on the street and find an axe on someone's bartering, and he would go back to that spot he was doing. If he got the axe, then he would build the axe and come and get the mom and the kids, or they would just come with him.
But what is bartering? And for those of you who don't know, bartering is, you have one item and you are exchanging it for another. Nowadays, we don't really use the term barter because bartering is known as trading now, where trading would have been, you have a hat and I give you X amount of money for said hat. But those two terms have kind of flipped through the years. And too bad we couldn't trade that thing because it keeps, This is Abby. So, Abby, say hi to all the kids. You gonna say hi? Say hi to the kids. Okay, usually she talks. I'm apologetic. She's not very talkative, but she's nosy. So, appreciate you watching the video. And again, we want to thank Miss Breaker in the class. Say bye, kids.
Bye.
You gonna tell the kids bye? Tell the kids bye.
Bye.
Well, she says hi, but she doesn't say bye very well. All right, thank you guys.